I'm done. I can't watch this team anymore. I'm going to do it. I will watch them. I will still, from the other side of the world, turn on the TV and watch every match that Chelsea play forever. I'll do it, but we shouldn't. Half of the away end had gone by half time. And I would normally say, leaving a football match early, why did you bother? Well, we have seen Tottenham refund tickets. Well, at least with Chelsea, we know that sometimes it won't go as bad as Tottenham Hotspur because, well, we're a bit of a different gravy to them. Even now, I can stand here and say that, and I've managed to sneak it in the first 40 seconds, but today was a disgrace. Today was dross, diabolical. No desire in that first half. In the second half, we kind of woke up a little bit, but I think Arsenal, in the first 15 minutes of that second half, they pummeled the Chelsea goal. If it wasn't for a Thiago Silva clearance off the line, Chelsea would have been 4-0 down. And the problem is, right, what we see in the first half, that is the game over. That ruined the game for Chelsea because no one wanted it. Apart from Noni Madueke, and I think Chilwell tried hard, but with Ben Chilwell, it's got to the point where whatever he tries to execute doesn't work anymore. But at least he tries. Noni Madueke scores his first goal in a Chelsea shirt today, and the fact that it finishes 3-1, I kind of feel as though this is taking me back to those days where sometimes after a Chelsea loss, I would wait until the following day to talk about it. The way that we're going at the minute, I said it took 18 minutes today for us to lose, because as soon as Arsenal score that first goal, you just know that Chelsea will not get a result, and that is the epitome, and that is everything that summarises Chelsea's performances at the moment. The way that Chelsea is as a football club is absolutely personified by that first half display. Absolutely everything that we're seeing is a catalyst of going 1-0 down. Whenever Chelsea concede a goal, there is not enough players that are being picked by Frank Lampard right now who actually care enough, game by game, to be able to make a fight of it. Now, I'm watching Frank Lampard walking off the pitch now at the end of this game. I started recording 2 minutes before full time, which I very rarely, if ever, have done here on GBFC. But the fact of the matter is, Arsenal in that first half were levels above Chelsea, but even they didn't reach the levels that they have at times this season. I'm not even going to waste your time today by giving boxes, because if I were to give the boxes, it would be a red for Raheem Sterling, who Raheem Sterling didn't pass a ball to a Chelsea player all game. £47 million. And I think because Chelsea have spent 100 million on Enzo, 63 million on Cucurella, maybe the 47 million quid kind of goes under the radar because it isn't as big of a fee as some of the other players that we have currently wasted money on. I'm not saying Enzo's going to be a waste, but he's just disappeared in this Chelsea team too, and I get it. I absolutely get it, because there are players that have been here double the length of time, Raheem Sterling, than Enzo Fernandez, who don't even know what colour Chelsea's shirt is. What on earth does Raheem Sterling do to get back on the pitch game by game? And he might even have bought himself a bit more time in the Chelsea team because Madueke goes off injured with 15 minutes to go. Raheem Sterling puts in today, arguably, the worst individual performance I may have ever seen from a Chelsea player since Bakayoko in a pre-season friendly in Ireland a few years ago where I think he was drunk. Raheem Sterling should not be anywhere near this Chelsea team. How he starts, Harvey Vale, Hakim Ziyech comes off the bench. Frank, what on earth are you playing at? Hakim Ziyech comes off the bench later on in the game. Harvey Vale's nowhere to be seen. Quality footballer. Someone who, bit like Noni Madueke, young player, right? This is what I don't understand here. Mudryk gets a 25-minute cameo when the game was over 20 minutes before. Hang on, plus the half-time interval. The game was over before half-time, yet we only see a 25-minute cameo for Mykhailo Mudryk. What on earth what is Frank's job here? I said it in the game after the Brentford defeat. Is it Frank Lampard has come in and it's a PR stunt okay, we believed that in the first place, but now it's a PR stunt to cover up Graham Potter, because Chelsea were significantly better on the pitch under Graham Potter than anything we have seen under Frank Lampard, apart from 60 minutes where we couldn't score against Real Madrid. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, I need to talk about this guy as well, should never play for Chelsea again after what we saw tonight. As a 33-year-old striker, right, you have got 300 plus goals in your career. Raheem Sterling, hundreds of goals in his career as well. These are the two players that I'm singling out here to begin this video with, because both of those players, they know how to play, they know how to score, they know how to get on the ball, make things happen. But neither of them seem to care about this Chelsea shirt. Aubameyang hasn't finished 90 minutes of football for Chelsea since he signed. And this takes things above and beyond just how woeful, shocking they were as players for us tonight. This club have spent money in such an abominable way, abysmal. It is alarming just how serious the plight of Chelsea Football Club is. If it wasn't for the 10 points that we got in pretty easy fixtures at the beginning of this season under Thomas Tuchel, I promise you, Chelsea would have been relegated this season if, and this is a silver lining of just how poor every decision has been from the ownership this season, if they would have sacked Tuchel any earlier than they did, we would be going down. It's facts at this point, because if you think about the way that Chelsea have given up this season with the players, you know, we as fans, we turn up and we hope, because we know what we've spent. We know that there is talent in this squad, and we just pray, game by game now, that we might turn it on a little bit. Madueke today, excellent. Well played, mate. Great job. Scored your first goal for Chelsea. And I hope it's the first of many. But this Chelsea team are a bunch of wimps. I was going to say something else then, but I didn't. They're so... They don't care that they almost play with the embarrassment of knowing they're losing and they're going to get berated again by the fans. But there is no pressure. Absolutely no pressure. Why? Because half of them have been given 7 8-year contracts. What on earth are they playing for? They're still getting paid. Yes, the Champions League clauses in their contracts. What does this mean now? That when there's Champions League clauses in players' contracts, does this mean that as soon as it looks like we're not going to be able to reach that competition, there's nothing to fight for? Let me tell you something. These Chelsea fans, even if we've had it so good over the years, even Lampard made the comment today where he said that even though he won multiple league titles at Chelsea, it should have been more because the club needs stability. Well, the only way that we're going to get stability at this club is if we're all working on the same page. Get rid of every single one of those players, every single one who doesn't want to be at Chelsea. I'm posting the last of the Rebuilding Chelsea series, and I want to change my mind on a lot of things here, because to think that selling 8 players makes sense because we've got to narrow the squad down. Let's be real here. Let's be realistic. Don't beat around the bush. Chelsea need to sell half of this squad if we want to speed up this rebuild process, because as much as we need a manager to come in to be able to implement tactics, to be able to change the philosophy at Chelsea, in order to do that, as we have learned over and over again, managers are simply there as that they'll keep passing, because it just doesn't seem feasible to sell the whole team. But unfortunately, as a Chelsea fan, I'm so disgusted by what I watch every time those players go out there. Yes, Frank Lampard, there's no tactics. We can't even defend a corner now. Arsenal battered us from corners today. How we didn't concede 2 or 3 from corners is beyond me. Frank Lampard, I love the bloke to death, but his managerial career has died. There's no way Frank Lampard should be a manager. He's lost 31 out of his last 41 games. I mean, that is almost a record similar to the worst Premier League team in history. It's not good enough, and you've been managing Chelsea for 6 of those games. I just don't understand how we're so lucky to pretty much not be able to be relegated. So we have managed to paper over the fact that for a vast majority of this season, we have been the worst team in the Premier League. Let that sink in if it hasn't already. Chelsea are the worst team in the league. We scored tonight. It was a good ball from Kovacic, but again, Mateo Kovacic, what has happened to Mateo Kovacic? N'Golo Kante, feel sorry for him. He's come back at a time where all of his teammates have given up. These Chelsea players do not give a shit. They absolutely don't. Frank Lampard is clueless as a manager, and in a London derby, we were done in the first half. Fans leaving at half time. It is disgraceful, the state of our football club right now. And I'm at a point where I've got no optimism that we're going to fix it, because we don't have Roman anymore. We've got these new owners who keep making rash decisions that just get worse and worse and worse. And I know I've said I liked some of them, I wanted some of them. I was wrong. I'm happy to admit it. I'm not going to sit here and defend my own opinions. I give my opinions, and if they're wrong, they're wrong. I don't care if people call me out for being wrong. God, get a life. At the same time, we all need to stick together as Chelsea fans, and we need to express that what we saw tonight was a disaster. Not good enough. And we should never see some of these players in Chelsea shirts again. I'm not going to take up any more of your time. We've been battered by Arsenal. Battered. Second half sugarcoats it. They're still levels and leagues above us. Come on, you Blues.